welcome to another episode of Outside Normal. Firstly, we just wanted to say thank you for showing us so much love on our last video, our away video.
Yeah, awesome guys. Thanks legends. It's really cool.
And welcome to all of our new subscribers. So we thought we'd follow up this week with a Q&A video.
A little bit of a Q&A, yeah. We've had some questions and we put a call out 2 or 3 episodes ago. And we got quite a few questions in from that as well. So we'll endeavour to answer all of those for you today.
So one of the questions that we've got is, how do you find work on the road and how do employees react to travellers?
We've actually found it okay. Sometimes we've applied for jobs and they want more length of time. But if you explain it to them, most of them, because they're so short-staffed, they're happy if you've got the prerequisite experience, happy to put you on for a couple of months to get them out of trouble. So
some of the jobs that we've done while we've been on the road is I've worked at a winery cellar door, I've worked at a coffee roasters cafe type of thing.
We both did a stint at a caravan park as assistant managers.
Yeah. And currently we're both working at a pub here in Cal where we've been for about 6 weeks already, and we've got about another 5 weeks to go, I reckon. The biggest challenge for us really with working is we have a dog. So, you know, you can't just leave your dog in your caravan unattended while you go off and do a day's work. It's not an option. Especially when you're in a warmer climate, you can't leave the air conditioner on. What if there's a power cut? Our air conditioner doesn't work on battery. Only we need to be plugged
into shore power. So
and you know, you need to take them out to the toilet and all that stuff as well. And it's not very fair for your dog to be locked inside all day, every day. So we sort of try and take turns.
Yeah. So at the current job, one of us works day shifts, one of us works night shift.
Yeah, which is working out really well, other than we might get one day off together a week.
No, but it is working out well. We have no problem with that.
And we're here to work, and that suits us, so someone's always home for the dog.
Yeah. So the other part of that question was, how do we actually find the jobs? So we are on a number of forums.
So a few different Facebook groups that we follow, and there's heaps out there for finding work on the road. So one of the sites we're on is Working on the Road in Australia, so they post a lot of good job opportunities. Swaggy is another really good one. Caravan park jobs.
If you're into looking for caravan park jobs, there is a specific one for that.
And once again, motel, hotel relief managers, which the issue with motels for us, and we've managed motels before, is that they want an ABN. So you need to be a proprietary limited company.
Which is costly, and I think
we're not prepared to do that. Not anymore.
Yeah.
So
the other good forum that we've come across is Not Grey Nomads, the group.
There's a lot of useful
information on there.
Yeah. Also, like, we knew we were coming to Eyre Peninsula for the summer. We arrived here towards the end of October, and I found a Facebook group, EP Jobs.
So essentially, when you're going somewhere, or prior to getting there, get onto the local job forums that are on Facebook, places like that.
And we noticed a lot of the jobs were advertised in Port Lincoln, which is why we ended up in Port Lincoln for a couple of months working. And for us, you know, we work in hospitality, so it's just being aware of the seasons. Like, we know that winter is the season for hospitality work in Queensland because all the people that live in the south go up there for winter. So that's how our personal experience, how we found it.
Everyone's different. So.
Yeah, everyone's different, and we found it to be really good.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention as well, the 2 jobs that I had in Port Lincoln, at a winery and a coffee roaster, were both from approaching the businesses direct, and we had also been offered another 2 jobs when we had left Port Lincoln from going in directly to those businesses as well and asking if they had any opportunities coming up. So nothing beats the direct approach. Okay, so next question is, do you try to stick to food and travel budget?
To be honest,
no.
We're shit at it, but try. Like, we've been on the road since April last year, whenever we hit the road. So we are now trying. We're writing down what we spend.
Yeah, this year we've had a diary and we've written all of our expenses, all of our kilometres.
Yep.
Everything goes into that, which is good because we've been able to track.
We're trying to.
What we're spending a week.
Well, I think we're running at about $600 a week while we're travelling, so that covers fuel, food, all that sort of stuff. Accommodation if we stay in a caravan park. If we're just in Cal, like when we first got here, we're in here and we didn't do much other than work and buy groceries. We were down around $200 a week.
Yeah.
So that's...
And we're not paying much here at all for rent, so that really helps.
Yeah. So talking about caravans, another good question that's come up is, now that we've been in our van for a while, are there any surprises or findings that you didn't expect, good or bad? Well, there are a couple of things. One of the things that we're having a little bit of an issue with is warranty work getting done. Not that there's too many issues, but they want us to go back to Adelaide to their facility for us to, or for them to fix whatever the problem is. And that makes it really difficult, particularly when we're working. It's like, how do we take a week off? And because we live in the van, they want it for 2 or 3 days. They don't understand
take all of your stuff out of it, and so, you know, we have a dog, so there's all the logistics that make it very difficult.
So that is probably our major issue. Other than that, the van has performed as we expected.
We won't touch too much on the caravan because we'd like to do, you know, we've nearly been in it for a year now, so we thought we might do another walk around and talk about things that we like and things that we don't like.
Exactly. So because we have the dog, one of the questions is, do you worry about our dog and snakes? Well, the answer to that is yes, because all the time, because she is just so inquisitive. Like, she will just look at a bush and go, oh, there's something in there. So
all the time.
All the time.
Always very aware of snakes.
Our surroundings and where we are and walking and things like that.
And we never let her off the lead. No. And I know some people might think that's mean, but it's really for her own protection.
And it's not just snakes. Out in the bush, you have things, particularly around national parks, things like that. You have 1080 baiting.
She's a food dog. She eats everything she finds on the ground.
She loves olives.
We have an olive tree
where we're staying.
So poison is another really big concern for us as well. So yeah, she does make...
Snakes and poison, we're very conscious.
She does make travelling a little bit more challenging. But we wouldn't have it any other way.
No. So going on from that question is another one, because this is, I think, from an overseas person. Are there crocodiles in the waterways, and can you swim in any of the water holes?
So the answers to that is yes and yes.
Yes. So currently where we are, there's no crocodiles. So we can swim anywhere. There are sharks, but no crocodiles. But when we head up through Queensland, the top of Western Australia, Northern Territory, absolutely there are crocodiles.
And you need to consider that every waterway in those areas has the potential to have
a crocodile in it. So yes, there are crocodiles in those areas. Yes, you can still swim in some of the water holes, but you need to be very aware, pretty much the same as the snakes. You just need to be very aware of your surroundings.
Okay, so another really good question is, have you ever been nervous about any place you have stayed?
Not really. So every place we've stayed, and we tend to pick where we're staying as well, so you've got to be aware that you can, like, oh, that looks a little dodgy, so you just move on to the next bit. But every place we've stayed has been really cool. The only one that was slightly concerning, and it was more of a spiritual thing.
I don't know what it was. It was
Parachilna Gorge.
And we'll drop the clip up here somewhere for the Parachilna video.
Yeah, and check it out. It's like a very cool place.
Yeah.
But where we were at what we call
Phantom.
the Phantom Cave.
Skull Rock.
Skull Rock.
It was kind of like we pulled up to camp, and I'm looking around and I'm like, oh wow, it's like we've got a skull in the cliffs looking at us.
Yep.
And it was a little discerning. But I think the thing that freaked me out a bit was the high cliffs, stone cliffs all around us, and like at night time you could hear rocks falling. And it was just a little eerie.
Not that we were anywhere near the rocks.
No, we weren't.
We were...
Yeah.
Anyway, you'll see, if you jump on the video, you'll see where we were. Amazing place. If you do get the opportunity, head up there.
Yeah, we were there for three nights.
3 nights, 100% off grid.
Yeah,
Awesome.
a great spot. I just felt a little eerie, like I pick up on that sort of stuff.
I thought it was fantastic because I'm a big Phantom fan.
As far as having any sort of hinky vibes,
No.
I would say always stick to your stomach. If it feels wrong, don't stay. Go.
Gut feel, go.
Yep, gut feelings rule.
Yep, absolutely.
But no, we haven't been in that situation yet.
And following on from that question is another really good one. Do you travel with any protection, i.e. a weapon or something like that, a baseball bat? No, we don't. We don't feel that we need to.
We've got a pretty good guard dog.
She lets us know.
Yeah.
Although she's sleeping her head off over here that you can't see, but anyway, she does let us know if anything is around.
You know, there's a leaf falling on the road outside.
Yeah,
she'll let you know.
Let you know. But no, we haven't felt the need. The caravan is pretty secure, so you know.
And I guess that also comes down to gut feeling.
Yeah.
Like if it feels a bit hinky and you haven't got the right vibes, don't stay there.
Yeah, don't stay there.
Just carry on.
Yeah.
So I think this is a really good question. Do you get lonely on the road or happy chappies?
Most times, happy chappies. It is because we are together, and which is what we want to be. We're travelling around.
We enjoy each other's company.
You know, other than when we are working, sometimes it can be a little bit lonely if we do.
Especially when we're on opposite shifts.
And most times, absolutely happy chappies travelling on the road. If we didn't have to work and could travel full time, we'd be very super happy chappies because that's what we love doing. Another good question that's come up is how much time do we spend off grid, or can we spend off grid and 9 caravan parks?
Power wise, indefinitely, pretty much. We've got 700 kilowatts of solar. We've got a 200
amp hour lithium
battery.
And that doesn't sound much, but
even in really cloudy days, we can charge up to 100%.
Yeah, but there is a little caveat on that. We don't have stuff. We don't have an air fryer. We don't have a microwave. The only thing that we do have that requires being on shore power is the air conditioner. It is a reverse cycle, so but we didn't need that. We have the diesel heater.
Yeah.
We don't have TVs. We don't have any of that other stuff. Blitzers, blenders, whatever.
And we were like that before we started caravanning, so our power usage has always been quite small.
Yep. So we have found no problems.
We don't have hair straighteners and hair dryers and
no.
So water-wise is a different story.
Yeah, water-wise, if we're being conservative, 3 days.
If we're both sharing, like we are now because we're working,
it's 2 days.
We'll get 2 days out of our water.
A little bladder that you can get, maybe a 30 or 40 litre bladder that packs down to nothing. Because at this point in time, we also have the cassette toilet.
Yeah, so we need to go and empty that.
So we need to go and empty that about 2.5 to 3 days, depending, once again, if we're off-grid.
So that gives you an opportunity to fill up your 20 or 30 litre water bladder at the same time without moving. So
yeah, we could be, infinitely, we could be off-grid if we had access to water, basically.
Yeah, and you know, like anyone on the road, water is super important.
Yeah.
One of the questions we were asked a while back is what IT we're using.
What IT equipment we have, what we're using.
Yeah, we're very basic. We've really only started with all of the social media and YouTube stuff. So we have recently upgraded our phones.
Yep.
We've got 2 Samsung A54s.
A54s, good camera. That's
previously, I think you had
an iPhone 5 or something. Like, it's seriously
yeah,
old, useless.
And I had a 21 or something like that, which I broke when we were at the caravan park. So I had to get a new phone. We could have upgraded and got a really nice, you know, iPhone, but we thought for the same money we can get 2 phones.
For the price of one, we got 2 phones that had almost equivalent camera, megabytes, all that sort of stuff. So
so we're pretty happy with them. There's a few features on their cameras which I quite like, and pretty much the phones are just used for social media, so Facebook and Instagram. So we can pretty much get what we want out of those. We are filming right now on a GoPro Hero 11. We have brought the external microphone.
What we do need to do, however, is get the clip-on wireless
mics. But you do need the GoPro microphone to connect to your wireless microphones. So that was sort of the first step. We are aware that there's still a little bit of wind noise in some of our videos, particularly our last one, the Way video. The wind really picked up. So even though we had the microphone on, which does muffle a lot of that wind noise, obviously you can still hear it. And it does pick up a fair bit of other noise around you as well. So we are aware, and we know that when we're in the troopy, it's a little bit hard to hear us talking as well. So I'm just trying to find the best microphone. So if you've got any suggestions on that, then drop it in the comments, because I am on the market for some microphones.
So the other thing that we use, the drone, we've got a DJI 3 Mini Pro. So I'm pretty new at it, so you can see the drone footage is pretty average.
There's a lot of features that we haven't worked out.
I haven't even worked out yet, so and that's partially to the time as well. You've got to sit down and spend the time, do it.
And you know, we've been on Eyre Peninsula since October, and it's pretty much been windy the whole time. So it's a little bit hard to get your drone up in those conditions.
And I'm also a little scared to get it up at some time. It costs a reasonable amount of money. And you know, I've seen
a couple of YouTubers
that have lost them in the drink or whatever, crashed them, and it's like, I can't afford that. Not that they could either. I'm not saying that, but like,
so we're just taking it easy and learning. We are using a iPad Pro 12.9 inch, which I do all the editing on iMovie. We've recently brought a subscription to Epidemic Music because I was really bored with the music that was on iMovie. And I'm loving that. I think it cost, I don't know, close to $200 for the year for the subscription, but well worth the money in my book.
A lot better access to all different genres of music than iMovie. iMovie's very generic. So
we will be upgrading to a Mac at some stage, a laptop. One of the little downfalls, which is why we had a delay on getting a movie out recently, is on iMovie it actually backs up everything that you do. So
it caches everything you do?
So it fills up all of your memory.
Now on the iPad, you can't clear that.
You can't delete the cache.
You can't delete the cache.
So we've actually had to delete the app, and I was just about finishing editing a video, which I lost and had to do it all again, so that we could clear our storage and keep going through that process.
So what we have to do now is every couple of episodes we have to delete the app completely, so it clears the cache, reload it,
and carry on.
And that's okay. It's just a pain in the bum that we have to do it.
And we'll have to keep doing that until we can upgrade to a laptop. We also have an external hard drive, which is a 1 terabyte.
So we dump everything. So we
basically everything that comes off the drone and the GoPro, we have to download it onto the iPad, and then we need to download that onto external storage,
so we
and delete everything off the iPad.
So that we have enough memory to do the editing, because it takes up a lot of memory to do that sort of editing and add music and all of those sorts of things. So.
Yeah, which is, you know, it's not ideal, but it's how we're rolling at the moment.
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
So the last question for today's Q&A is...
Do you have a plan?
Well, no.
And are you doing the lab?
No. Literally our game plan when we got into this was...
We just wanted to do life differently.
Yeah. And not to get into the whole, everyone's doing the lab, they've got a certain amount of time to do it, 8 months, 12 months, 18 months, whatever it is. We didn't want to get into that. So basically we just wanted a different lifestyle. We wanted to travel.
And we couldn't see that we'd do that if we're in a house and paying off a mortgage.
Yeah.
We'd still be doing exactly the same thing in 20 years and not really travelling and doing what we wanted to do.
Then I'd be too old to travel.
Yeah.
We have to work. So as we go around, or as we explore Australia. So...
I guess we're mindful of picking up seasonal work.
Yeah. So it might mean that we need to go up to Queensland and then come back down to New South Wales before we head over to Northern Territory, come back into Queensland for something, go over to WA. So we're kind of not just whizzing around doing the lap. So
you know, we're on Eyre Peninsula at the moment. It would kind of make sense for us to go over to WA.
Yeah.
But really good friends of ours are having a wedding.
Yes, they're getting married in Robe
in April.
Which is part of the reason we've kind of hung around the Victoria, New South Wales, South Australian area.
Well, we haven't wanted to go too far.
Too far away.
Yeah.
So, and we'll be heading back there. After that, that's our last commitment in the area. So we've got family to catch up with in Mount Gambier, so we'll be sort of heading off from there. Yep.
We're thinking maybe Queensland.
But who knows?
Yeah.
Depending on what jobs we get. As soon as we are finished here, we'll put feelers out and work out where we're going from there. So
and we like to be in places where there's lots to do in the area. So on days off that we can go exploring.
Yeah.
There have been a few suggestions coming through for work. Some of them have been a little bit isolated and not much around them, so we don't really know what we're doing.
No.
Probably doesn't help you out much.
No.
But yeah, we're sort of just zigzagging and going where we want to, really. We've still got lots to see.
Yes.
And we don't really know where we're going to end up, so... buckle up and come along for the ride. One of the things that I really enjoy about this lifestyle is, you know, where are we going to be on our next birthdays or at Christmas or anniversaries? We just have no idea, so it certainly makes life a little bit more exciting.
It certainly does.
Hope you've enjoyed this episode, and if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments.
So if you like the content, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe. We'll see you on the next episode.
We'll see you on the next adventure.